Good morning, ma. Back to Monday, back to our work, back to our videos as well. So thank you so much for your time. And I would like to continue on the topic of cyberbullying.
Good morning, Revati, and it's good to be back on Cyber Mondays. Let's go ahead with cyberbullying again.
So one of the few things that we ended the note saying that cyberbullying doesn't just happen in one arena, it happens in multiple arenas. To be honest, it could happen to anybody at any given time just because we post it. So when I look at that particular aspects of it, first question is, how do I categorize that this person is being cyber bullied or being victimized in a cyber arena?
Yeah, so right, we should have discussed before the victim has to know that I am victimized. So how does one define cyberbullying? If there is a continuous onslaught at a certain person by a certain person or a group of persons with cues, text messages, or otherwise, they might be memes or whatever, which are offensive to that person, hurting that person's sentiments with deliberately. There is one thing that is, it is maybe once in a while it would be a mistake or it would be something that just slips out. But if it is deliberate and it is continuous and it pokes at a person's certain either personality trait or weakness or something that the person is sensitive about very continuously, then it is termed as cyberbullying. So, in fact, even in the physical world, it would be bullying only when, I mean, once in a while, if somebody has an altercation, it is not bullying.
Correct.
It is when it is sustained, continuous, and trying to ensure that the victim is feeling depressed, anxious, stressed out. That is cyberbullying.
So, given that, obviously, we are in a generation where reels play a much more role of propaganding or marketing yourself, and influencers are becoming a role today. So there would be a lot of comments, a lot of hate, a lot of hurtful words or hurtful words in any manner whatsoever. So how should a victim or a person who's posting take those as a purview? And if they feel it's a cyber bully or a bully that is trying to take out their space, what is that they need to do?
Yeah, in the first place, when we are talking about influencers or people who regularly post on a certain topic, now it is expected that not everybody is going to like the way you are talking about a certain topic. You may be in favor of X, and there'll be another umpteen number of people who are against that thought process, or you may be speaking against a certain thought process, and still there would be many people who would be against it. So now, if I'm a influencer, or if I keep writing about a certain thought process, and there is a group of people who do not believe in what I say, as long as their language is not offensive, it should not be offensive in the sense saying that I do not prescribe to your thought process and arguing with you in a decent language. We all know what a decent language is. As long as the language is decent and there is an argument and there is something like a back and forth, I wouldn't call it a cyberbullying. I would call it just an putting across. It would be in a sense sort of a debate. But if the language gets offensive, then it would come down as cyberbullying. Now, if there is cyberbullying, yes, you can, whichever platform on which you are getting bullied, you can flag it to the platform, and those accounts are either closed or they are not allowed to follow you and post comments on your whatever you are posting.
So here is one reality check for all of us, ma'am. When somebody is posting their thoughts, it could be either their own account or they could have had multiple fake accounts. A person who, I mean, I can create multiple fake accounts as well. Now, by reporting that particular fake account, will that actually stop them from bullying another person or the same victim again?
No, by reporting that account, if you report that account as pull it down, don't. Absolutely. I mean, then you have to give enough proof that the person is too offensive to be anywhere on the social media. Then the account is barred. It is completely closed down and the account will not be operating. Now, if you are only saying that I am having hurtful statements made against me, then probably all that will be done is that person will not be able to react to you, in which case that account remains and the person continues till there are so many offenses against him that the account is closed completely.
But then when I
So
look
multiple people complaining against the same account would ensure a account closure. Otherwise, you have to prove that this account needs a closure. It is not just that person cannot follow me or comment on me.
but given that scenario, now I as an individual can have two different or three different accounts. You can pull down one, but how as an official do we actually classify saying that he is a person who has the tendency of doing a cyberbullying activity, not just to one person, but to a multiple aspects of it? Would there
Now,
be
for that, yeah, if you are operating all your accounts through the same IP address, evidently the link is there. Now, if you're smart enough that you have multiple accounts and you're operating them out of multiple IP addresses, then linking a certain person to all those accounts becomes difficult. So they will be you will individually have to pull them down. Each would individually have to be reported and pulled down. As I said, if you're lucky enough, if the person is not smart enough, then they use the same IP address, then one IP address and all of them can be closed down together.
Correct. And when I just step back for a couple of minutes and say that, okay, where can I be bullied? The answer is everywhere and anywhere. And then comes the challenge, who gets bullied? Right? So when I come to it, as a corporate or in any work arena, cyberbully is quite evident. Is it true or false? And that's something that I would like to talk about as well.
Yeah, cyberbullying happens everywhere, even in the corporate environment. Maybe a little subtly, or sometimes not so subtly. But basically, it's even in the corporate environment, at the end of the day, you are human beings. So one human being interacts with another human being just as in the corporate sector as otherwise. Now, the advantage sometimes that people in the corporate sector, maybe on the face, they might not be able to say something, assuming that there will be action by the HR or the company against them, believing that in a certain space where they cannot be detected, they are maybe likely to vent out their thoughts or vent out their feelings. Now, that does happen. And whether it's in the corporate environment, whether it's in the general home environment, whether it is in the school, wherever it is, bullying is bullying.
Okay.
So it cannot be condoned anyway.
Correct. So, if we are talking about cyberbullying specific towards the school arena, there are quite a few students who have come across or they've posted some sort of an obscene messages, being on the target, though yet being friendly at the school in a closed environment. Why do they do that? First question being, why do they do that? Second is, what is driving them to be like this? What is driving them to be? Are they not self-aware that they're being a bully or not?
I'll answer the second part of the question immediately. Yes, they know they are bullies.
Okay.
There is no doubt about it.
There's a second thought about it.
There is no doubt. Absolutely none. I mean, nobody bullies by mistake, which is why I said bullying is a sustained effort. It is not a one-time thing. One time, two people can have an argument, the language can go bad, you can have a good fight, and that ends over there. But if it is happening on a sustained manner, the person who's perpetrating knows what that person is doing. So cyberbullying cannot be, did not know I was bullying a certain person. So that part is, let's get that part absolutely clear. Now, when it comes to the first part, why do people bully? Few reasons would be: one, as I said, maybe they are being bullied in their physical environment and do not have an opportunity to lash out over there, and would rather, I mean, that's a reaction that they give in the cyberspace, or they're not bold enough to be able to confront the person that they are confronting in the cyberspace. So when that boldness is not there, but the feeling is there, the question of whether I'm anonymous, can I be identified? There's a lot of disinhibition in the sense, because I mean, anonymity and disinhibition practically go hand in hand. As in, because I'm anonymous, so I can do whatever I like. That disinhibition comes in because I have this very strong feeling that I cannot be caught. Nobody knows who I am. So that technically goes hand in hand. So that advantage that maybe I will never be caught. Nobody knows who I am. I can do whatever I like in this space without revealing my identity and yet venting out my emotions. So either the bully is somebody who's already being bullied and wants to vent out, or is technically a bully but is unable to probably do that in the physical space, believing that it would have repercussions, but in the cyberspace there would be no repercussions.
But wouldn't that go against a statement saying that in the physical world people might probably forget and it could be put under the wraps, but online world people can pull up anytime, because we've seen that happening a number of times, wherein stars do get pulled up for something they comment now, but what they have done in the past gets pulled up as an activity. So nothing goes away from online world, or nothing is hidden in the online world rather. Wouldn't that be a negative sentence for them? Wouldn't that actually teach them saying that, no, I can be traced back?
Yeah, we do know that they can be traced back, but if you are creating a fake account, the account does not have your name and the account does not have your face, and there is nothing in the account that links. See, when you're talking about stars or celebrities posting something, probably at that point of time they believe in that certain thought process, and maybe at a first, maybe they are not stars at that point of time.
Probably.
Because once you're a celebrity, what you post online is something that you post pretty thoughtfully. You will see they are mostly, I would say mostly, 95% at least, are very responsible people who understand the nuances of what they say and the effect that it has on the masses. So when they become a celebrity, I am absolutely sure they would be very careful as to what they are posting. Before they are a celebrity, probably at some point of time, they have a thought, and it is simply, it does not matter what I say, sort of thing. Or this is what I believe in. The freedom of believing and posting it is easier when you're not still a celebrity.
Correct. It's like I am posting my thoughts, so why get into the retrospective aspect of it? But having said that,
and you are still not in the influential stage where what you are saying would influence actually anybody. So it doesn't matter. It is like me posting something or you posting something, and it probably only the people who want to read it or see it or listen to it will read it, listen to it or see it.
Agree.
I'm not expecting like a whole jhund to follow the whole thought process.
So having said that, one of the things that always amazes me and is when I look at, I'm just giving a comparative aspect of the cyberbully. When the cyberbully is targeting me, as a person, and is trying to do a sustained approach or a regular approach of being hurtful about whatever I put, it doesn't matter where, how, and what, it's still being hurtful. But the way I react could be much worse, or I could probably get into a sad mode or probably depressed mode. I kind of get a fear of getting into the online world. I have a lot of negativity around the internet or the World Wide Web. But the same happens to the stars. So, what different are they doing that we as humans also could adapt? At the end of the day, they're also humans and we are also humans. So, what is that one thing that we can adapt?
See, when it comes to celebrities, they know that they are in the limelight and this is unavoidable. So the mindset is already there that this is unavoidable. This is something, once you are into that space, we don't believe that. We don't believe that this is unavoidable, for the simple reason that we are normal, common human beings who cannot bring their mindset to that stage where we are like, this is going to happen and I just need to ignore this. Another thing is, when they are normally a celebrity being trolled or bullied or something of the sort happening to them in the cyberspace, they are in a much better position to reach out to their audience and complain directly. And then the audience itself will react back to the person who's bullying them. They don't, I mean, they have this protection, as in they have a fan following, or they have a set of people who are dedicated to them, who like them. I mean, they have two parts. There is one section which likes them and one which does not. So they can simply allow the two of them to sit and fight together.
So they don't have.
We do not have that privilege. We do not have that privilege. A common person does not have that privilege. You might probably not actually have anybody fighting for you online if there is cyberbullying against you online.
So one of the things that I look at is when somebody talks hurtfully to me, I probably go 10 steps back before even posting something. But is that the right way to approach, or what is the better way to go ahead and be what you are, yet not be caught in this bullying world?
See, hurt definitely is there. Reaction, fortunately, the cyberspace gives you a little time to think before you react, just as it does not sometimes absolutely give you any time to think before you react. It's probably a paradox or something, but that's the way it is. You can either train yourself that I react to everything immediately, or you train your mind, let it come, let me think, how do I respond to this, and then let me respond. So now if you're in the first mode, then I think there's going to be something like an all-out text or visual or whatever.
Just go bang on.
Fight. Open out and open fight. Now, if you're in the second mode, you can resolve this by, as I said, get the person out of your space. What you don't hear, you don't allow a person to hurt you, you are not going to get hurt.
No, they're not.
So in the cyberspace, yes, you can move that person out of your space, or not allow that person to be in your space by making adequate amends, as in you post it to the put a request to the social media platform or whatever. If it exceeds a certain level, there are also police complaints that can be made, and it's an offense. So there is a legality involved in it. So you could go to that level only, but only if the bullying is at that level and no other remedy is working.
So when it comes to one of the questions that I, while you were telling about reacting before you react, what if even my thinking does not help me? Where does my thinking and answering with data points? Say, for example, I've been given a hurtful words. I'm trying to think and say that, no, this is not, how do you look, or whatever be my response. There is going to be an action, and my action would definitely give a reaction on the other side. Most cases, it's going to be even more aggressive, even more personal. What do I do at that time? Or where does that point of being a bully becomes an aggressive bully, or what we call it as a little aggression against human? Had that person been in real world, they might have actually punched for whatever be that anger that they have. So that could have completely gone into a different tangent of assaults. So how do I train my mind to say that your actions are going to give a reaction? And what are the chances of they become very aggressive after my thoughts on the second line?
Yeah. So if you don't want the other person to be aggressive, you need to believe and understand that the social media is just the social media. And if you can train your mind, or you can bring yourself to that point where you do not see, when does something hurt you? When you give it adequate importance, you let it affect you. That is where emotional intelligence comes, that is where cyber resilience comes in,
Absolutely.
where you train your mind that this is just a space. I can shut down this space from my life.
Okay.
The moment you shut down that space from your life, or you bring it to your mind that this is just somebody who's trying to, actually you tell yourself, I will not become anxious or I will not become stressful. Why? Because that is exactly what that person wants to do to me. And I am not going to give that person the satisfaction of troubling
Giving that window for it.
Yeah, exactly. So get out of that place. Getting out of that place is the easiest thing you can do.
Correct.
If you try to start arguing, a bully is going to argue back, is going to hit back even stronger, hurt you even more.
Correct. So again,
was
don't do it.
Yes.
Given that, and again, time is never on my favor. I never know why. And the 20 minutes just flies past, and I'm like, no. Given that, the next chapter I would actually talk about is on cyber stalking. The reason why I'm bringing cyberbullying is a bully cannot be a bully unless and until they know what to hurt or what to tell that can hurt their victims. So stalking becomes one of the primary features or functionalities of theirs to look into what I do. So the next I would actually talk about is where does a bully start his journey as a stalker? Does he start as a stalker? And that is something that I'll have it for my next class, next sessions as well.
Definitely, because obviously, unless and until you know the thought process of your victim, you do not know how to hurt him or her. So it would start with figuring out what is the thought process of the victim. And that is something that every predator does. So cyber stalking is going to be definitely the
3 steps of the.
That is what leads to, yes. I mean, that is what enables, it wouldn't lead to, but it enables bullying. So we will definitely look at that topic next.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. And see you next Monday.
Thank you.